Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, what are the 5 best things to happen in Magic the Gathering in 2021? You know, I hope many people out there had a better year this year than 2020. I sure did, but speaking strictly from the perspective of what happened in the game of Magic the Gathering, I think it's pretty hard to argue that 2021 wasn't far better for the game than last year. By a lot. I mean, let's be honest, there's really only one thing to talk about. The fact that this year was the year that Wizards of the Coast finally got rid of the reserve list, and Vintage Masters packs will be hitting local game store shelves tomorrow with a price guaranteed of only $6.99 per pack. I am so excited to crack Black Border dual lands with new art, as well as what's that? They didn't get rid of the reserve list? There are no Vintage Masters booster packs. Well, I guess that was just a dream I had. I hope I didn't set your expectations too high. Nonetheless, presented here are the 5 best things that happened in the game, limited, of course, to things that Wizards of the Coast did for or to the game. So something really awesome like Magic the Gathering Las Vegas isn't going to be in the running because that was Channel Fireball and not Wizards of the Coast. But what did Wizards of the Coast do for the game this year? Believe it or not, a lot. So much, in fact, that I actually have an honorable mention before I even hit the 5 best things that happened in Magic this year, and that is Wizards of the Coast recognized that they were wrong about something and decided to change their minds. That is a trait worthy of praise, and here of course I speak of WotC changing its mind on universes beyond and sets like Secret Lair, The Walking Dead. Now, this is only an honorable mention because it is, after all, Wizards of the Coast cleaning up their own mess. They literally had to backtrack not once, but twice to get here, as this very year they even doubled down and said no, they will never ever offer Magic the Gathering versions of Walking Dead cards before eventually giving in and deciding, yeah, okay, fine. We'll do what we should have done from the very start. What's so funny about this is that they literally had to cross out their declarative statement on their official website saying, we're not going to do this, and just say, fine, all right, we're doing this. And of course, that was a statement where they were saying, yeah, you know what? We are going to offer Magic the Gathering themed skins of Universes Beyond cards in booster packs. Now, it's in set booster packs, but the ratio is said to be really, really high. And while, of course, time might make fools of us all, the fact that going forward, there aren't going to be any Universes Beyond cards from Stranger Things or The Walking Dead that don't have Magic the Gathering skins. And, you know, I guess not all for Lord of the Rings or Warhammer. But still, it's progress. I applaud them for it. Again, had the policy we have today been the policy when The Walking Dead was released, there would have been zero drama around it. Nonetheless, I applaud them doing the right thing, and I do applaud them for being a company that, however reluctantly at times, does at least listen to community feedback and criticism. That's why I will cover such feedback and criticism in other areas. Arena alchemy, Arena's economy. Don't worry, that's not COVID. It's just tomorrow's video. So, what's number 5 on the best things to happen to Magic the Gathering this year? Well, number 5 is Magic's story. Magic has kept its story free, available on the web, and what's more, has started building to something big. Probably Phyrexia, but it has direction and cohesion and importance again. In fact, I was hella impressed. You kids still say hella, right? Hella impressed that the big Kamigawa hype day started with the release of the Kamigawa online story and trailer. This is putting weight and importance on something that I feel is weighty and important. What's more, this year saw a highly successful and engaging story in the form of a Magic the Gathering comic book series. And while Magic has had attempts at comic series before, hit or miss depending on who you speak to, I feel very confident in saying that this current series is superb. An exciting expansion of Magic's storyline in a very organic direction. I loved this. Now, this doesn't mean that the story can't still improve, but I want to acknowledge how far it has come since the horrible deconstruction of it ahead of the ebook and novel fiascos of the last few years. Not to mention, this was also the year of the parting of the ways with Nick Kellman. Hallelujah. But now we move on to number 4, and it's not something so much that happened in Magic the Gathering as it is something that did not happen. Why, yes, I'm talking about the number of standard bans that happened in the year 2021. 0. We went from several years of record bans to a year where, nothing was banned in Standard. The most recent Standard bannings being back in October of last year with Omnath, Locus of Creation, Lucky Clover, and Escape to the Wilds, which were bans number 9, 10, and 11 for that year. Wow. Now, looking at non-standard formats, we saw that Modern had the same number of bans this year as the last, 5. Pauper had several due to the broken cards of Modern Horizons 2 and Commander Legends, and Legacy itself had to ban 3 cards, but overall, it is fair to say that 2021 was a much more stable and less broken year, and hopefully the normality we once enjoyed of few to no standard bans with only a little occasional cleanup in formats like Modern and Legacy will continue into 2022 and beyond. And no, I'm not including whatever madness may or may not have happened on Magic Arena in terms of wacky wild bans to Historic, to Brawl, to Historic Brawl, to Arena Standard, because, well... Coming in at number 3 is my own personal number 1. You heard me. You see, I evaluate this list as best I can as more of an overall encompassing reaction to Magic the Gathering over the course of a year, and not just a list of personal favorites. But if it were a list of personal faves, then Time Spiral Remastered would be at the very top. As it is, I have it at an overall at number 3, but no matter where you might rank it, it was awesome. Time Spiral Remastered was simply sublime. It was everything a reprint set should be, and did what no Masters set really had been able to do prior: provide needed reprints while also giving an amazing draft experience. Time Spiral Remastered was a Magic the Gathering product that was for you, whoever you were, and its only failing was that they didn't print hardly any of it. But I'm not going to hold that against Time Spiral Remastered as a set, as a product, because it, in isolation of the terrible blunder of them not actually printing enough of it, was everything that we had always wanted. It's a great new lineup, and whatever they choose for the next remastered set, I am looking forward to it. It's simply fantastic, and it was one of the best things to happen in Magic the Gathering this year, aside, of course, from its price tag. So what are the 2 best things to happen in Magic the Gathering in 2021? Coming in at number 2, it's Modern Horizons 2. Look, they reprinted Fetchlands at Rare. That, by itself, is qualifying for this list, but there's so much more to Modern Horizons 2 than just the fact they reprinted Fetchlands. And much like with Time Spiral Remastered, in the fact that it had a negative in the form of nobody could freaking get it, I will acknowledge that Modern Horizons 2 has a negative in the form of it has further made Modern, or what was once known as Modern, a kind of rotating format where it doesn't resemble the format I once fell in love with, and I acknowledge that, but Modern is still really great right now. I guess Modern 2.0 or Modern Horizons, the format, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say to acknowledge the fact that there is this modern format that has Horizons sets injected into it. It exists, and again, excluding price to get those decks is a really fun format to play. And yeah, I know, Modern Horizons 2, Time Spiral Remastered, price. It's terrible. These are really fun products that end up behind this ridiculous paywall. And I don't just mean the regular paywall of, capitalism, but just this outrageous thing that reasonable people may not be able to afford. And I have a great sympathy for that, but it's not like there's any type of tournament play going on. Proxy up your cards. enjoy Modern. It's a lot of fun. What was great about Modern Horizons 2 is that it also really leaned into what makes Magic the Gathering magic. It isn't just that they reprinted fetch lands, it isn't just that they had old frames, which were awesome in their own right, but in a time when Magic seems to be looking to get so far away from itself, whether it's in its flavor, whether it's in bringing in IPs from other products, from other franchises, or whether it is in reinventing what Magic cards look like and do to a point where it's not even recognizable as Magic the Gathering to some elderly players like myself, Modern Horizons 2 looked at Magic the Gathering and said, we're proud of what we are, and we're going to embrace that and bring something really cool to the table. And have you seen the price of fetch lands lately? They are at all-time lows, at least for the 5 that were in Modern Horizons 2, demonstrating that reprints work. And they haven't plummeted to be worth 0. If you crack a fetch land in a Modern Horizons pack or in an old pack of Zendikar that you got sitting on your shelf, you're still going to be really happy to have it, but they're a lot more reasonable. In fact, the price of Modern that is prohibitive to people is coming from the Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2 cards, more so than fetch lands these days, but that is another video or perhaps another list. So what was the best thing to happen in Magic the Gathering in 2021? Well, I would like you to turn to a little set called Strixhaven. No, it wasn't Strixhaven, but it was something within Strixhaven that I hope to see return, and that was the Mystic Archive. That's right, the best thing to happen in Magic the Gathering was Strixhaven's Mystic Archive. Why do I say this? The Mystical Archive contained a selection of Magic the Gathering cards from throughout the game's history, including many high-priced ones, and many more of moderate value that are simply played in formats like Commander and Modern and various other places. It put unique new art treatments on them, but these art treatments, while very different from what we see on a typical Magic the Gathering card, were leaning into that idea of, well, magic, sorcery. They were supposed to be pages from spell books at an arcane university, pages of spells from other worlds, and they felt that way. The aesthetic was a home run, an aesthetic that doubled in that there was an entire Japanese language set with Japanese alternate art that was also a huge hit. This is Magic the Gathering coming up with great new ways to enjoy the game and not charging extra for it. And I just celebrate that. I can't help but celebrate that. Instead of saying, hey, players want reprints, let's put them in more expensive packs that are wild and hard to get a hold of, they said put it in every pack. They put it in draft packs. They put it in set boosters. They put it in the collector boosters. If you're buying Magic the Gathering packs at any level, you're getting Mystical Archive cards. That's fantastic. I'm sure there's people in the comments upset about Time Spiral Remastered. They couldn't get it, but they wanted it. I'm sure there's people in the comments upset about Modern Horizons 2. They couldn't get it, but they wanted it, or they could get it, but they can't get enough cards together to play Modern, which is really cool right now, but they can't seem to get a deck together because, it costs a fortune. And I have such a great sympathy for that. The Mystical Archive is the way things should go. Just as a widely printed Time Spiral Remastered, where packs are, $4 or $5 each, is a way that reprints should go, but that, of course, is another rant. The best thing about the Mystical Archive is that everything it was, everything it did, all the awesomeness of it, they didn't charge anyone extra for it. They put it in every type of booster pack, including regular old $4 draft packs. I don't have to spend $250 or more on a box to get them. They even put the alternate Japanese art ones in draft boosters. It was a gift to the players, and a well-received one at that. And in my evaluation, it was the best thing that Magic the Gathering did in 2021. Tune in tomorrow for my list of the worst things to happen in Magic the Gathering this year, but now I'd like to hear from you. What were some of the best, most wonderful things of Magic the Gathering in 2021 that didn't make my list? Got an idea? Got a comment? Leave it in the comments below, and I hope very much this video was of some, not help, but joy to you. And if that is the case, then you can bring me a little joy just by remembering to subscribe, hitting like, leaving that comment, and especially by watching another video after this one, like yesterday's video. That's a cool one. Look, I got Leonhardt. That was fun, talking about Pokemon.